Okay, how we doing, people? Today is Monday, May 22nd, and I wanted to go ahead and make this video. I want to talk about something that the Angry Man is talking about in his current live stream because I'm watching it as I'm conducting business today. And one of the things that he's saying is that he got in an argument with this dude. They had a debate about black women in Western society and how black women try to emulate white women. And they had a really interesting back and forth, and it was very interesting to watch. But one of the things that the brother said, and the brother happened to be a lawyer, by the way, he said, you know, Angry Man was trying to make the excuse that black women in Western society are basically in a, dominated, by white society. So that makes them try to emulate white society by wearing weaves and that type of stuff. But the brother made a good point. He said if you go to Africa, if you look at there's black women on television all over the place in Africa, but you look at white women in Africa, there's white women in South Africa as well as in other African nations too. There's white women who live there. They don't try to emulate white black women, in Africa. White women in Africa don't try to emulate black women to the extent that black women try to emulate white women. And the Angry Man, I thought that was a very good point. And the Angry Man, I noticed the Angry Man did not really have a comeback to that. They try to explain it away, and then they try to say that, well, it's psychological, and in reality, in my view, I think that there's something within black women themselves. There's this whole self-loathing within black women, and a lot of this is passed on from mother to daughter. Okay, where their mothers teach them that their natural hair and stuff like that, and their features, that those are not good enough, and that they need to alter that or change that to be accepted into society. It's not the men who do it. Okay, there's a father, he just wants the child to be healthy and the child to be able to take care of themselves. It's the mother that tries to instill in the child that they have to be aesthetically pleasing to succeed in society. That's a very female mindset, and it has nothing to do with being in a white dominated society. It's just the fact that a lot of women, unfortunately, a lot of black women are not strong-willed and strong-minded enough to be completely secure in their own identity. Okay, the way black men are. Black men are very confident. Okay, studies show black men and black boys from an early age are extremely confident in themselves. Okay, why hasn't that translated over to black women? Why haven't black women taken it upon themselves to realize the value in themselves and to become confident and not engage in all this silliness? I mean, black women make a lot of people rich off of these beauty products and these weaves and stuff that they buy, to try to fit in with white society. And that's something that needs to be talked about. You know what I mean? But I'm not into the whole excuse making. I think that the excuse making is bullshit, and I don't think you can keep falling back on this whole belief that we're in a white dominated society. I don't like when Angry Man kept on saying that, because all that does is that feeds into an inferiority complex. Okay, that and in reality, today in American society, a black person has just as much opportunity to accomplish things and do what they want to do and promote themselves just as much as anyone else, just as much as a white person. Okay, we don't live in the 1800s anymore with black people under slavery and Jim Crow and stuff like that. We live in a whole new world now. And if you're still adhering to these old inferiority complexes, that's your fault. That's nobody else's fault. That's not the white society's fault. That's not colonialism's fault. He tried to make the argument, well, what part of the world has not been touched by white supremacy? There's parts of the world that haven't been touched by it. All right, there's parts of the world that white supremacy does not run things. Okay, white supremacists, they don't run China. Okay, they don't run the Inuit tribes in the Antarctica. Okay, there's parts of Africa still where you have indigenous tribes who still live in their, in their ancestral homelands and still live their traditional lifestyle. There are uncontacted tribes in Brazil, okay, where white supremacists ain't running anything. There's countries in Africa that are run by 100% by black people, like Zimbabwe, okay, where black people are in charge and in power and making their own laws, and a lot of them are actually kicking whites out of their country. All right, there's parts of Africa where the Chinese are displacing whites. Okay, the Chinese are displacing European interests, such as East Africa and places like that. So you can't keep, the world is changing. You can't keep falling back on this whole concept that, okay, white supremacy dominates the whole world, because that's not the reality. That's not really the world that we live in. And I'm probably going to make more videos on this in the future. But until then, leave comments, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. I want to get what y'all think about this. Thank you.